If there was just one video to teach you how to create the best GoHighLevel websites that not only look professional but also convert like crazy, would you watch it? Well, sadly, there is, and in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to build the ultimate GoHighLevel website. We're gonna cover how to create a killer header, how to design a high converting hero section, how to add engaging and interactive animations with custom code, and so much more. And by the end of the video, you'll be able to build a GoHighLevel website that could bring you or your clients results just like the ones my clients are getting. So, let's dive in. The first step is to create your GoHighLevel website from scratch. I know GoHighLevel offers some templates, but there is a big problem. These templates are boring, generic, and unengaging, and when you use them, your website will look like every other website out there. And that means low conversions, low engagement, and your potential clients won't even take your business seriously. Now that we have our website started from scratch, we also create a page also from scratch, and the next step is to create the header. For this, we're gonna create this full width section, and we are gonna add a 2-column row. We can also expand it more to the left and right by clicking this button here to allow the rows to take the entire width, and then we have to adjust the width to 90%, let's say. Obviously you can adjust it however you want, but for this example we are gonna stick it to 90%. The next thing is to create the navigation menu itself. We're gonna click on it, and then we have our navigation menu. Next thing is to create a button, because we also want to have a call to action in the header. And now the header is pretty much done, but as you can see it looks awful, so it definitely needs some customization. So we're gonna start with the logo, and for this we're gonna go to Canva and we are gonna create our own logo, and I'm going to show you a very simple and cool method to create your logo. You're gonna create a simple page and add a simple text element on this page, and you're gonna select this font Amsterdam 4. Then you're gonna write your name or whatever your business is. For this particular example we're gonna use business name as the logo, and this is pretty much it. We can change the color, but let's use let's go for black, and then we have to save it with a transparent background. After we saved it in Canva, let's add it in GoHighLevel. I already did that, and now if we select it, as you can see we have it displayed here. We want to get rid of this text, so we're gonna close this business name, and after that we have to get rid also of these pixels here, this sizing, because we don't want GoHighLevel to mess with our logo. And now we have our logo beautifully displayed here. Obviously we can make it a bit smaller, let's say 200 pixels or 300 in width. Yeah, 300 looks good, looks decent. Right, the next step is to drag this column all the way to the right. Well, not all the way, but let's say somewhere around here, so the button has spacing and also has room to stretch in case the user goes on our website from a smaller screen. We have to keep responsiveness in mind, because not all users have the same screen, so we have to check our website on all screen sizes to make sure that it looks good, and this also includes mobile. As you can see, this is how it looks on mobile, and currently it doesn't look that good, but we're gonna change it as well. Next thing is to customize the font a bit, because we don't really like it. Change it to semi-bold, let's say. And now we have this. We can also play around with the button. I usually like to add border to it, and also the same color, and also to make it round, let's say 10 pixels or even 15. That looks good. And here we can play around with the color, let's say blue, and also in here let's use blue. Let's change the font weight to semi-bold as well, and let's keep the same call to action, click to sign up. Now let's save, and as you can see we have a nice little header. So let's preview it. As you can see we have our logo here, the menu here, and also a call to action button, which currently doesn't look that engaging. So how do we make this button more interesting, more engaging? Well, we go into the custom CSS section and we paste this piece of code, and then we copy the class name. If you're curious from where I got that code snippet, well, it is from my GoHighLevel website enhancement kit, a Notion doc that I created with tons of cool effects specifically designed for GoHighLevel websites. And the one that I'm showing you right now is the zoom in and shadow on hover effect, and if you click on it you'll have a full tutorial about how to implement this effect. So going back to the website, we copied the custom class, and we have to click on the button, click on the advanced tab, and in the custom class section paste the class name that we just copied. And as you can see, when we hover over our button it zooms in and it also has a very nice shadow. Let's preview it, let's see it again. Right, as you can see, it makes the button stand out, it makes it more engaging, and the user can actually interact with it. It's not just a simple plain button that doesn't do anything and doesn't encourage the viewer to take action, to click on the button. So believe it or not, such effects are very, very powerful when it comes to website conversion. The third step is to create a high converting hero section. And how do we do that? The first thing is obviously to create a new section, or if you want your header to have the same background as your hero section, we can add our hero section within the same green section, right? So let's do that because it looks better. We just click on this plus here and create a one column row. Here we are gonna add a headline, and we are not going to change the text because we don't need to right now. So what I usually do is make it extra bold because it looks better, and also make it very large, let's say 90 pixels, okay, or even bigger than that, 120, let's say, something like this. Obviously it looks a bit cluttered, so let's add a little bit of spacing between these two column sections, let's say 80 pixels or 100 pixels, right? So we have something like this, and below this we can also add a sub headline. If we need, we can also increase its size so it's not that small, and below it we can also add a call to action button. And the easiest way to add a similar button to this is to just duplicate it and drag it from there, right? We also need to add a little bit of spacing above the button or below this sub headline. So let's choose this sub headline and add a little bit of bottom margin, let's say 60 pixels, or 60 pixels looks good, right? We want the user to see this call to action button before they actually start scrolling. If they don't see it, then it's not good. But as you can see, at least on this screen size, the user is able to see the button. But the headline stretches too much to the sides, so let's fix that. We are gonna click on this column section and we are gonna adjust its width to 80%, let's say. Click save, and let's see exactly how this one looks. And as you can see, the website is already starting to look nice. We have this logo here, we have the menu here, we have a nice button here with a cool effect, we have the headline, the sub headline, and another cool button. but it's still not finished because the background is white and it looks a bit boring. So how do we make it look better? Well, for this one I'm going to show you another cool trick. We're gonna use this website cssgradient.io and we are gonna create a gradient. This is very simple to use. You just input two colors and then you select your desired angle. Let's say this one. You can preview the gradient here. Let's change the colors, this one or I don't know, whichever you want. You can have a radial gradient, but I'm gonna stick to something like this. And in order to use it in GoHighLevel, we just copy to clipboard, we go to GoHighLevel, we click on custom code. I already created a custom class, but you can do it by just choosing a name, let's say this one, and then opening and closing curly brackets, and in between you just add the lines that you copied from the code generator, from the gradient generator, and then you click save. Next step is to click on the section that you want your background to be applied, go to advanced and add the custom class that you created, and as you can see we have our gradient, but it doesn't look that good. So I'm gonna go back to the custom gradient and I'm gonna adjust the gradient so it fits my needs on this website example. So I added the background now, and as you can see we have a few mistakes on the website that obviously every web developer encounters, and I'm gonna show you how to fix them. The first thing is to add a transparent background to your navigation section, and you do that by going here, and as you can see we have the background color. We select transparent, and also for mobile, but we're gonna check how it looks on mobile in just a sec. And the next thing is to change the color of the button because it doesn't look that good, and I believe black would look much better. And we also have to do that for our border, and as you can see it's much better suited for the background that we chose. And let's do that for this one as well. Border, where is it? Here. And now this is how it looks. Let's click save, and also let's preview it, and this is how it looks. It has an earthy tone to it, so obviously we can change the colors here to better match with the background, but for now we're gonna keep it simple, keep it like this. Maybe add just a simple highlight to part of this headline. Let's say if you want to emphasize a specific keyword in your headline or something like this, so let's do that. We just go to the Notion board. If you want to get it, you can click on the first link in the description, and if you already have it, then the tutorial that you are looking for is this text highlighting. We copy the code from there and then we paste it into the custom CSS section, and then we just need to get the right class into the text. And let's say we want to have this word highlighted. We just make it bold, and now as you can see it has a nice headline. We can also change the color of the text by going into the text, general, and then bold text color, make it white. Now it looks like this. Obviously the color is not really matching with the background, so let's choose another one. Let's use this for example, and go here and try to find a better color. Let's say this one. I don't know if it's a good fit, but for this particular example we are gonna use this one. I clicked cancel just because I don't need it here, and I'm going to add it to the custom CSS to this exact custom class. Very simple. The code has variables that you can adjust based on your needs, so it was very simple to adjust this. let's preview it one more time, and this is how it looks right now. Before we move to step 4, I want to add another detail to this hero section. So let's click on this green section and add 40 pixels margin to the left and 40 pixels margin to the right. And then let's go to the Advanced tab and choose border, bottom border, and border radius 100. Let's say a bit too much. Let's go with 50. 50 is a good number. As you can see, it looks something like this. I don't really like it because I don't want the corners to be up top as well, so we are gonna change from all edges to bottom edges, and the border we are gonna set it to white because I think that looks way better with the gradient finishing in this corner right here. So now if we refresh, as you can see, it looks so much better because we don't see the edge. Here we have a nice fade towards the top left corner. We have a sharp line here that fades towards white, and here we can't see the corner, the rounded corner, but I think this is such a cool effect. And basically now the next section that we add will have a white background. It will be much more integrated into the website and into the whole design that we are trying to create here. So let's go to the 4th step, which is to create engaging sections where you can display testimonials, benefits, pricing, or stuff like that. And I'm going to create with you here a nice looking section that can use to display a ton of things, such as the ones mentioned earlier. So how do we do that? The first thing is to create obviously another section, and then let's create a 1-column row where we are going to have our headline, and below that we are gonna create a 4-column row. We're gonna align the text to the left, and we are gonna make it, let's say, 60 looks good, 59, whatever, doesn't matter. And let's make it extra bold as well. Below that we are gonna have our paragraph, which we are gonna set to 16, let's say, and we are gonna align it to the left side as well. And here we are gonna create 3 cards, but before we do that, let's add a margin to each and every one of these. The easiest way to do this is to just start from one column and just add margin, let's say 10 pixels to the left, 10 pixels to the right, and after that create a border, full border. I don't want to have to be white, so let's try to set it to something that's not fully white but not too dark. So let's say something like this, right? Something like that. Add a border of 25 pixels on all edges and change it to 1 pixel. And then we have this. And also let's set the border, let's set the background color to something similar to this one. Not really like this. Well, we don't want to update it, we want to add a new color, and let's say like this. This looks nice. Alright, perfect. We have the background, we have the border, and now we can duplicate it. Let's say 3 times, right? And we have something like this. A headline, a text, and 3 items that we can use to display different, let's say, benefits. And this is how our website looks so far. But obviously, this section looks like it was taken from a newspaper. So let's enhance it. Let's give it some personality and make it pop, right? We want these styles to emphasize the benefits of our service or our product or whatever this website is built for. Right, first things first, let's add some margin here. Let's add 80 pixels or even 100 because it's too cluttered and we don't want that. And one thing that we can do is to add some shadow to these elements, something like that, let's say. And let's delete these ones again, and let's duplicate these ones. And I want to also add a subheadline to each and every one of these, and then let's say some paragraphs, right? Paragraph and paragraph. Obviously we could have done this to only one and then duplicate it 2 times, but it doesn't really matter. And now I want to make them look even better. So how do we do this? Well, we can play around with negative margins and then we can achieve something that actually looks cool. So for this we are gonna first select this section, and let's say we want negative 50 pixels. And then as you can see, it almost looks as if these cards are above the headline. And how we can play around with this? Well, we can add a padding to this one, and then let's say we also want to add 80 pixels padding down, so we have a big card here. And then if we select the first one, we can add 60 pixels margin to the top and also 60 pixels margin to the bottom. Let's go 40 actually. I want to make something nice here. And as you can see, this is now bigger than this one. Let's do the same for this one. 40 pixels margin top and 40 pixels margin bottom. And let's increase the margin here, or decrease it I should say, to -70. And as you can see, it already looks much nicer. Let's increase the headline size, and let's get rid of this because there are too many words here, and the effect looks cooler if you have less words. And as you can see, this is how it looks right now. We can add some margin to the headlines here. Let's say 20 here as well, and 20 here as well, right? And this is how it looks. We can refresh and see how our section turned into something cool, right? Obviously this is not completed because you have to fill in the text here. You have to have a benefits or something cool as text, and then list all your benefits here plus description if needed. And also there is room for a nice little text here again if needed. Now the last touch for this section is again another custom code from my Notion doc that you can get from the link in the description. We go to the advanced and we paste this custom class. Obviously I already pasted the code in here, and we make it bold, and now it has a gradient color fill which looks much nicer than a simple color. Obviously the colors are not that good right now, so let me adapt them to match the rest of the website. And as you can see, now the colors match the other elements of the website. We have this part matching the headline here, and this part matching the background up here. Let's save and let's preview once again. And as you can see, now we have a really cool section, which obviously can be enhanced even further with animations, custom animations. We can play around with this text, we can add a button. So yeah, let's quickly do that. We can make this bold, and we can also duplicate this button and add it here, wherever you think it would look better. Obviously, if you add it here, you will need some margin, let's say 20 pixels, right? And now it looks like this. You can play around with the color too, so it looks much better. Let's make this 18 pixels. I think it would actually look better, and add some margin, 60 pixels perhaps, or something like that. And I think this one also needs some margin, this column. And now I think we are pretty much done with this section. Yeah, as you can see, this already looks better. Maybe a bit more margin above the button so it doesn't look too cluttered, but I really like this effect that with the card that sits on top of the headline. If you want to enhance that effect, you just have to play around with the margin here, right? You can decrease it further, right? minus 80, and then the effect is even more visible. And yeah, for now let's delete the button because it's a bit too cluttered and we don't want that. But yeah, this is how it looks so far. So now that you saw how to create an amazing section to display testimonials, benefits, or any other piece of information relevant to your service or product, let's move on to step 5, which usually would be to create new pages. But in this case, we want to first optimize this homepage to mobile, right? Because if you duplicate this page right now and create the services page, the about us page, and so on, then you have to optimize each page individually, meaning that you have to work on your menu, work on your text, and so on each and every page. But if you optimize it first on this page and then you duplicate this page in order to create the others, then your work would be much easier. So let's do that by clicking on this button, mobile mode, and as you can see, our website looks horrible on mobile. So what do? The first thing is to play around with the header. In this case, it's a simple fix. We just have to change mobile background color to transparent, and now it looks like this. The button we don't want to show on mobile because we already have this button here. So let's just go to advanced and deselect this button, and now our button is gone, but on desktop it is still here. Next thing is to make sure that the margin left and right is much smaller, let's say 10 pixels. I think that's enough because we want to have space to display the rest of the elements. And obviously on desktop it stays the same because we can play around with the margins and paddings independently on both mobile and desktop. Next thing is to change the font of this text, let's say 65 or 58 or something like that. Let's go with 60, right? 60 is a good number. We can also decrease the margin here on this particular section. Let's go 60. I think that looks decent. Maybe even more because we want to have the button visible, right? As I said in the beginning, we want the button visible before the user has to scroll. Obviously we play around with this text as well, and I think this will make the button visible, so I don't think that there is a need to decrease the padding here. Maybe we can increase the margin here by 20 pixels or even to 100. Yeah, I think, just to have a bit of symmetry between the button and the text, and between the text and the logo, right? And as you can see, this already looks so much cleaner than before. Let's move on to the next section. We obviously keep this elegant design here, and let's do the same to this text as well, right? We want to make it slightly smaller, like this. We can reduce the padding here, the margin I should say, and here we can make it 16 on mobile or even less if you want, right, to have more text. And here obviously the sections won't be displayed in the same way, right, so you won't have this cool effect on mobile, but you can display them like this, right? You can even duplicate the section and create these cards without the shadow if you want, but for now I think they look decent, right? We have our logo here, the menu here, right? You have everything you need, the headline, sub-headline, the button, call to action button, the benefits section or testimonials or whatever you want to have here. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the mobile section. One more section that you should create on all your websites is the footer. I won't add anything here, but you can add your logo, maybe a white version of this logo, the social profiles, right, privacy policy, cookie policy, whatever you want to add or whatever you have to add here. So now that you have your homepage done, it's time to create all the other pages, and for this you just clone this one and you will have all the effects, the header, the footer, everything ready, and also the mobile optimization. Obviously, if you want to start from scratch and create even more beautiful sections, you can do that, and if you need help with that, watch this video where I show you how to create 2 really cool website pages.